So these are all at a 0.4 ounces. So this is Squishmallow and how puffy that bag looks. And this is Kapok, and it definitely squished down in the bag here. And this is Polyfill. So that's all the same weight in the bag. This is definitely looking fluffy, but will it squish down? This is already squished down, but you saw how fluffy it got when I took it out. So I'm going to take a little bit out so you can just see. So you can see the difference just by me going like that, okay? That's the Kapok. You know what? I'm sorry that the Squishmallow feels the same. You know? So if you've never felt the inside of what Squishmallow, it almost looks like it's Kapok that's been bleached white. See, I wasn't touching it, and the other day when I was touching the Squishmallow, I'm like, oh my gosh, feels like a kitty cat. It's the same. I wonder if their secret thing is it's really a mixture of Polyfill with some Kapok or silk or something. I mean, the Squishmallows are just not that expensive, so I don't know what this is, but it's just super soft. And so is this. But I got this big, you know, Squishmallow that I already filled one doll with, and I only paid $15. And the Kapok, I had to pay, I think, $26 for that amount you saw, which I'm being super honest here. I mean, I don't feel, if I was to be blind, I wish there was somebody else here right now, because if I blindfolded somebody and had them touch these, honest to God, you would not feel a difference at all. You would be just as going, oh my gosh, when you take this out of a Squishmallow, just like when I took this out of that package and I went, oh my gosh, it literally is the same. And this floats all over the place, and so does this. I don't know if you saw that in my other video. It was just like a kitty cat floating everywhere, and so is this. This is yellow in color, and this is white. So as far as filling a body, if anything was going to get messy, I would prefer the white. So anyway, it's just like, you could even mix it. You could, if you wanted to save money and get a Squishmallow and mix it with your Kapok, let's just do that. I'm just going to mix this up. It blends really good mixed because it has the same texture and filling. And you could stretch the cost a bit to where it still has the Kapok in there, but it's got some Squishmallow that is not going to squish down. The difference with polyester polyfill is, you know, it is made of a plastic. It comes looking really fluffy like this, but once you pack it down, I'm going to show you what it looks like. So, see that in the bag all clumpy? When it starts to pack down, that's what it looks like. It's what polyester polyfill, after you really packed, I packed it in some limbs and I took it out. that's what it looks like when you really pack it in. If you put this in a body, it's going to be fluffy, but after a while it might get lumpy like that. So I can see using either one, the Squishmallow or the Kapok, or even mixing the two, and you're going to be really happy with what it feels like. And yeah, that's my review, guys. And I will fill this body with just Kapok. And if I get any, I'm going to tell you right off the bat here, if I see a bunch of seeds getting stuck, this is what I don't want happening. There's been bodies that have been, been aged that I tried to clean, and not with this, because this is a brand new body. And let me show you my other doll. So this took a lot of cleaning to get this body in. It's a lighter color than I chose more of a pink than the really light pink. And the reason for that is because exactly this is that the lighter color shows dirt right away. And you can still see some edging of the vintage, as much as I could clean. There was little specks, and I want to say seeds, because it had Kapok in here, but there was little specks, which I thought was dirt, and now I know they were seeds. The seeds were caught in between the vinyl and right here, and you could see it, and it looked like dirt. So the seeds worked its way from the Kapok and got trapped on the edges of the arm. You can look at any of your dolls that you got that you need to restore and see if you can't see what looks like dirt and crumbs stuck. Now, there was some that got styrofoam, I think, filled in the legs, and that decayed and broke down and made crumbs inside the Kapok, yellow, chunky, crunchy crumbs. So there could be a combination of crumbs that get stuck in there from old styrofoam, which we're not putting in our dolls right now. But it's the seeds. If I have to pick those seeds out and they get trapped and stuck, and then you end up seeing them, I'm not going to like that. So personally, I'm going to pick through. I will use some Kapok, but I'm going to pick through and make sure there's no little specks of seeds, at least not any big ones. And I will put that in the body. I could also put a liner inside and fill the body so that, but then, what's the point? I just know that this, I'm not going to use this. Polyfill is going to only go in the legs because you don't see that. I really like this white, clean, fluffy Squishmallow. And I will use the Kapok that I bought, but honestly, it feels identical, and I'm not going to spend the money on Kapok again unless somebody really, really wants it. Okay? That's my review. So let's just get started with filling my body with, if I wasn't videotaping, I would just not put Kapok in it at all. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I like it, but it's like, I don't like the seeds. And is there Kapok out there that doesn't have these little specks of seeds? Looks like kind of like sand. And I get it, it's a natural product. So the first thing I'm going to do, I almost want to put something else down here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my thermostats, and I'm going to fill the limbs with just regular Polyfill, okay? Because I can get that down in there, and I don't care that it mashes down. The whole point is to give the limbs some filler inside so they don't collapse. I got a baby deer one, and its thighs were so flat because there was whatever was in it just packed down. So I want something that I'm going to pack in, that I pack it in really good. And of course, you can open up these type of bodies now because I'm not doing the stitch that goes across there. I'm sorry, there's no point in it. Just don't overfill your thighs at the top there, and you don't need to worry about stitching that closed. Nothing's going to come out. It'll still be a floppy doll. So I was talking here and I didn't get all the way down into the toes. I like to get all the way down into the toe area. I didn't paint this doll at all yet, and normally I would paint a doll before I would assemble it, just to prevent any blushing getting on the body, but I'm going to be very careful, as if I was just restoring a doll that I didn't need to change the body for. This will probably speed up my video, but whoever wants to see my tutorials that are not edited, they will be longer. If you like watching long videos where I'm talking and sharing. Okay, there's that leg. Yeah, if I didn't leave that neck open there, you wouldn't even be able to do what I'm doing right now very easily. That neck opening is very small. You can't get your hand in there. You couldn't even hold on to this and get your hand in there. If you want a bundle package where you're getting the doll body and you're getting some polyfill for the limbs and some Squishmallow for the body, I can do that for you. Since I measured this out, we're going to see how much I'm actually needing to use, and you could always go buy a Squishmallow to keep adding more. If I have Kapok on hand and you want that, it will be quoted depending on how much I paid for that Kapok and how much I'm giving you. If you want a blend of a mixture of Kapok and Squishmallow, I can work up a price for you on that. If you want to have some of this thread without having to buy a full spool, I will give you some thread. If you want a needle, the same type of needle that I'm using, I can do that. If everything that I'm adding eats into the little profit that I'm earning from even making these bodies, I will have to charge a little bit for those extra items. So some people already have all that. They might have a sewing room and they have all that, and they may already have a pair of these type of long nose pliers. They could also be called needle nose pliers or long nose pliers. There is a little cutting area way down here, but you're not even using that. You're just using the tip to pull the needle in and out when you're sewing. And if you don't have these, use something in your kitchen drawer that's not going to poke through the fabric. You could use the back of, a kitchen thing to just be able to poke that polyfill into the limbs. I'm going to fill the arms up. You can fill the arms and the legs with polyplastic pellets just at the lower part, and then stuff it really tight with polyfill on the upper part, and it pretty much should stay down in there. You don't want to fill it too full or it will leak out into the body, but you know, it's not a huge deal breaker if it did. If your body's been all stitched and closed up, I just don't know if you want to feel that in the body. I kind of like it in my other body. You could do a combination of poly pellets and Squishmallow and Kapok, and I just wouldn't put the polyfill in the body if you want that really fluffy, squishy, floppy fill. I don't even know. I think I didn't ever have a Squishmallow. I had no idea what was on the inside, and I was just, when I was looking for Kapok, I was looking up, you know, how fluffy it was, and I think I came across a Squishmallow, some description about how fluffy that was, so that's what made me think, well, I want to get a Squishmallow, and I want to see what that feels like. So I did a video of cleaning this doll up, and this doll is kind of special because I had to sand this pinky and this pointer finger and this pinky and this thumb. I smoothed it down, sanded it. It was actually rough and like got scraped or chewed on. Little kids chew on toys, puppies chew on toys and things. I thinking that's what happened, is either a little kitty cat or puppy was nibbling on the fingers. Okay, so I'm almost through this bag of polyfill, so I would know exactly to give you 4 ounces of polyfill to be able to fill these limbs, because I packing it in, that's exactly, amazingly, just enough to do the limbs and have it really packed in there, okay? So let's see how much the doll weighs with just that amount. Now, I haven't even packed the head yet. This is so fluffy. I tell you, this Squishmallow is super fluffy. Okay, so we're at a 0 here, and I'm going to put this body on here, see what the weight is from just the polyfill. So we're at 9.7 ounces. So I don't have any more left to do the head with polyfill, so I'm going to get some more, and I'll weigh it out so I know exactly how much to give you if you wanted polyfill in the head. So let's do, it's probably going to be another 4 ounces. Got my, it really packs down, so you'd be surprised how much will stick inside a head. That's 1.7 ounces. Let's just see what this is. This is 2.2. I just want an even amount to remember. That's 2 ounces, okay? Let's see if 2 ounces is enough to stick in this head. And before I stick this head on, I want to just slip a magnet inside because I want to use it for my This is a top knot doll, and I will be putting, I don't care that this isn't glued. This is going to go inside the top of the head, and it's basically going to be right about here, so when I put one of my toppers on, it kind of knows where to go. And I've decided not to glue things permanently, because that way if somebody didn't want it, I could take it out. If somebody wanted it, I would glue it permanently in there. So when you're stuffing your head on any doll, you don't want to overstuff. You want it stuffed, but you don't want it overstuffed that you change the features. Like, you don't want this to puff out. Cheeks are already perfectly plump and cute, so I'm just pushing that in towards the back of the head so that, and then I want this part to kind of poke up a little bit. So packing it in there to try and bring this little dip up. This doll had a glued on wig, and I had to do a lot of sanding to get that glue off. I did use Goo Gone and other products. It was just not coming off. I had to gently sand just like I did the fingers. And I can always readjust this head by just taking it off again. That's why I'm using the drawstring body. Okay, and then I'm not overfilling it here because I've got to stick this back in. Now, I'll show you how you get this in. Sometimes this needs to get warmed up a bit, like you could use a hairdryer. Don't have one right here. But I'm just going, it doesn't matter which side. I think I'm going to go with this being the inside here. I'm going to use, it really helps if this is warmed up to get that in there. You can just work one edge in at a time. It's getting in there. This is not something that they do today. They would not use wood today. So see, I'm lifting up the back just to get a little gap to pop that in there. So there you go. Okay, now to take this out, you could take something like a screwdriver and just get it in there and pop it out. That's how you could get that out, or you could use a pair of these and pop it out. Now, it may have a bunch of filler all the way up here, and you don't even know that there's actually a hole. But there is. Now, there was one that was really damaged that I removed from a doll. It was made, I think this was the So Big, and the wood was just, it's actually was quite bigger. It was for the So Big head, and I had no problem with one, and then when I was like using a tool to try and get that out, I think this was on the outside and this was on the inside, and look how this doesn't have, this groove I think should have been on the inside, and somebody already took it out and reversed it. This was facing on the outside, and it had no little smooth groove to be able to get it in and out, so it kept chipping off. So I can already tell that this has that groove, and unless they'd started designing them differently. So if that happens, Let's see, I have something else I was going to show you. I don't see where it's at, but anyway, they sell rings that are for the ring-born community, and doll places there's a ring that will just, it's plastic, and it will pop on and give this neck flange some extra support. Okay, so let's see how much this weighs. So it weighs 6.8 ounces, and I used all 2 ounces of that Polyfill. So I'm going to make a note that it took 2.4 ounces to do the limbs and the head. Okay, so if you wanted me to add 2.4 ounces of Polyfill in your order, just for the limbs and the head, I will give you a price on that. Okay, now for the body. Now this is the front, and the seam in the back is for the back. Okay, so let's get filling. Do I want Kapok? I mean, okay, let's just look at all the little things that are in there. You know, it is all natural from, you know, a seed pod. There's 200 seeds per pod with the cotton. So how do they get those seeds out? You know, it's probably almost impossible to get those seeds out. I'm going to put the Kapok in here just to show you if I see any specks getting trapped in my seams, I literally will take it all out of there and put the Squishmallow in my doll. I'm sorry, I'm kind of that OCD, I guess, about organic matter stuck in my stuff. But just look again how fluffy that is. Both of them, Squishmallow and Kapok. There is absolutely no difference at all, other than one is very clean and pure and white, however they make that, and the other one, you can see, you would think if you opened up the body that there was bugs in it, and that's what I don't want. Somebody thinking that the little seeds and the little earthy matter was bugs, and it's not bugs. It's not. So thank goodness I have this video to share that and talk about that. So let's just stick all Kapok in here, and then we'll have a Kapok body and a Squishmallow body. And I mean, it feels really good, but it feels exactly like when I was stuffing the Squishmallow the other day. Oh, so squishy. Squishy and fluffy. Now, this I'm going to put in here since it's a mix, and I'm going to do just Kapok, okay? And it's floating around just like a kitty cat, just like the other day. Reminds me of a kitty cat. Ooh, just dropped some. So here's the Kapok. It's just, I don't know if you can see it. It's just floating. It's floating around in the air. Get in there. It is super soft, but so is Squishmallow. But let's just do this. Because I said I would share the difference, and there really isn't. When you look at it, there is a really fluffy Angora-like fur, almost like an animal, and then this has that same It's almost like this is bleached white. Is that their secret? Are they getting Kapok and not calling it Kapok because they don't want to tell you? Or they got some sort of deal where they can get Kapok and bleach it, and you know, where are they getting it from where they can afford to do that? So I don't want much down here because I want her to be able to sit up on her tummy. Yeah, there's a lot of I don't know, little bark and stuff right here. Just gonna pick some stuff out when I see it. It's super soft. And my nose is kind of itching like kitty fur. I'm not allergic to cats, but I did have cats a long time ago. And just seeing this stuff float in my kitchen reminded me of them when they started playing and running around. All of a sudden you see the cat fur flying, and it's like I wouldn't have anybody over for dinner. It's like I can't have guests over serving food and have cat hair flying in the air. Okay, it's already feeling lumpy compared to my Squishmallow. I mean, I'm going to like fluff it out a bit here, but just going like that, I feel more of a lump. And this is my Squishmallow. There is no lumpiness. There's no lumpiness at all in my Squishmallow. It is a heavier feeling once it starts to pack in there. So I guess this stuff packs down and the Squishmallow does not pack down, and that's probably why. So maybe this makes it way heavier and takes more to fill. See that? But I'm going to keep going here. Try and doing it without sneezing because I feel like I got a lot in my nose. I guess I'll just kind of pack it in and maybe I won't feel the lumpiness. And it's the same situation I had the other day where it's kind of like cat hair. Like I need a lint roller to get it off the outside. I had to use tape to get this off the fabric, off the outside of this. So since I have the little hole in the back and I can continue filling it, I'm going to attach the head with the drawstring. Are we on camera here? So I'm going to cinch that up, and I know I can, you know, adjust it later. This is just a temporary before I go to stitch the back up. Just getting that. And this one didn't come with its Vogue tag on the back. So here, I can still continue to stuff right here and still stitch up that top piece. This is really fluffing everywhere, but that's what happened the other night with the Squishmallow. I was just like, woo, it's like cat hair flying everywhere. Okay, she is very cuddly like. I'm gonna, I admit that that is way better than Polyfill. Both of them are way better than Polyfill. Let's just put them side by side. He's flying around here. So this is a different fabric too than this one. I used a more cotton like dull fabric for this one. This one is more of a nice dress shirt fabric. This one here, but super squishy, Squishmallow, and it's a thicker filling once it's packed down, because this doesn't pack down. So that's the difference. Squishmallow is just as fluffy, but it doesn't pack down. It doesn't get clumpy at all. This, you can feel the little lumps. It's still squishy. It's still squishy, but it's a little lumpy. It feels a little lumpy when in certain areas. And this one it bounces right back. See that? It's denser or something when it's squished in there, and obviously they packed it in that bag really tight. But this does not squish. And if I get some of this, just do it again. It feels the same, but look at how it stays squished. Then I go and I squish the Squishmallow, see if it will stay squished. Maybe that's the difference. It puffs right back. So this will squish down and be like that inside the body, but it's once you get it fluffed back up, it's fluffy. So I guess if you can have access to your doll and open it back up, and maybe that's a drawstring would be a great thing, because then you can fluff it. But so that's the difference. Let's put you back up here again. So anyway, that's the difference. And then also looking at my dolls, of course, this one was painted by me, and this one is a unpainted. So if you're looking at that, but anyway, let's look at the weight. See if I can get them to sit on the scale here. And, it's not really fair if I didn't put a bunch in here compared to that Squishmallow. So let's just see if she weighs heavier. 9.6 ounces. And I could keep on filling. This one is pretty full to the max. I could put a little bit more. This one has a very floppy head feeling. I don't think I put anything in the head, so it's not really a fair measurement. I didn't fill the head on this one. So this is 8.2, and if I filled the head, it would probably be the same. But I don't remember filling the head. Do you have anything in your head? Oh, yeah, she has something in there. So a little lighter, but that just means I would have to pack more in there. But there you go. That's the difference. Hope this isn't too long of a video. See the difference? This is Kapok, and that is Squishmallow. And of course, I did have You already saw what it looked like blended. There you go.